maintain her strength for the opportunity of an escape attempt. She did less than usual, mostly because she was not exercising now, but merely warming her muscles in case the offered gift of freedom was not snatched away imminently. Dropping away from the wall, she extended her legs into a split and leaned her upper body forwards to lie flat against her outstretched leg as she leaned her head sideways to watch the trap door again. Rising to her feet almost nonchalantly, she bent her head to her knees to stretch her lower back and legs, and looked at the wall from her upside-down perspective. She gauged angles and heights, calculating her required effort to reach freedom. Knowing that the smooth walls would offer her bare feet sufficient purchase, she stood tall from the stretch and turned. 3 quick, long strides saw her accelerate to a speed fast enough to carry her momentum upwards. Running 2 steps up the far wall, she sprung away and twisted her body in mid-flight before her feet met the wall above head height on the other angle of the corner of her cell, which she used as a launch pad. Bending her legs slightly and reversing the impetus, she bounced lightly off the second wall and reached upwards with both hands to grasp the very edge of the exposed lip above her. Swinging twice as she steadied herself, she tightened her grip and pulled her upper body through the gap, and switched her grasp to turn the pull into a push and raise her straight legs as she spun again to land her backside onto the floor above. The entire sequence of calculated movements had taken less than 3 seconds. Rolling backwards and lowering the trapdoor, she froze, all senses on high alert for any response to her escape. She stayed still for 5 seconds. 10 seconds. Nothing. Her escape had taken her less than a handful of heartbeats, and she knew that the responses to her behavior when she had first awoken in the brightly lit cell were rapid enough to warrant an armed response within the time she had spent outside of her cage by now. Satisfied that she was not about to face an incoming squad of faceless soldiers, she rose and lightly tiptoed her barefooted way through the corridors. She knew that every inch of the facility where she was being held would be covered by cameras, but that knowledge would not dissuade her from exploring or from attempting to escape the clutches of the party's scientists, who had drugged her and poked her and prodded her when she was barely conscious. Her eyes scanned left and right, searching for anything she could use to arm herself against the impending discovery and confrontation she expected at any second. After the 10th glass window she looked through, she froze. Standing immobile as a statue, she stared intently at the occupant of the small glass box and could not believe what she was seeing. Sitting on a chair, in front of a small, bare desk, was Cohen. She was reading something on a computer tablet and was wearing a pair of glasses. Eve knew that was a new development, as the woman who had raised her always squinted at the words and had to hold things at arm's length to make them out with any clarity. The woman had not seen her, and she raised her hand to tap lightly at the glass before she stopped herself.
"Why does she look happy?"
she worried.
"Why isn't she trying to escape like me?"
Her fingertips rested a hair away from the glass, but she could not bring herself to tap and announce her presence. Slowly lowering her hand, she decided to continue on and come back for Cohen after she was armed and had found a way out of their prison. Her prison, at least, as Cohen seemed to be more guest than captive. She carried on, rounding the next corner and seeing an expansive room the size of which she had never seen before. The ceiling extended far up into the gloom, and an array of apparatus towered before her. The loudspeakers set into the wall crackled to life. "Detain her," a bodiless voice said aloud. She detected movement to her left and right simultaneously, causing her to settle into a crouch and raise her hands. 2 people, dressed in the same simple white linen pajamas, showed themselves, 1 male and 1 female. Their faces showed no expression, no emotion. They both stalked towards her, keeping their eyes fixed on her but moving their feet inexorably closer as she was flanked on both sides. She could not keep both of them in her sight where she was, and to withdraw into the corridor would limit her options to move, so she sprinted forwards to leap desperately and pull herself high onto the apparatus to try and obtain some kind of advantage over their superior number.